Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. So this week I'm in one location. It's a place in Wild Ennerdale by the lake. There's a little walk that takes you off up into the woods, and you can't miss this location because there's the footpath and bridge goes right across this little stream. So I saw this and I thought it was really cool, so I just walked up a little bit and I managed to get a composition and find a composition that I really liked. So that's a location, but this video is actually about two things. The first of which is knowing a location, about knowing a location and spending time at one location. And second, it's about making mistakes and learning from making mistakes. That's the key important thing. So let's get on with it. Okay, so let me take you into Lightroom and let me walk you through the steps that I've taken to get this image. Okay, so this is the very first frame that I took. So I've set up initially and I've just done a basic, just a rough idea of composition, roughly where I think I need to be. I've snapped the shutter and then I'm just going to review this on the back of the camera at the time to see how I feel about it and see what I need to do. So this is the first one I've taken and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking purely compositionally. I'm not worried by exposure, I'm not worried by water movement, I'm not worried by anything other than just getting the framing perfect for the image. Now I'm looking at this and I'm looking and I'm thinking there's not enough elevation in the water. The water's it's too low in the image. There's nothing in the top of the image for the water, and I'm thinking there's a better shot to be had here. So the next frame is I've moved the camera a little bit more, which you would have seen. So I've come slightly further into the middle of the stream and I've angled down slightly more to exaggerate this bottom foreground and then to give the impression that the stream is higher in the frame, therefore coming down at a higher elevation. So that's the first image that I've done. So I've now taken this image and I've gone, yep, okay, so I'm happier with this composition. Now I need to have a look at the actual refining of all the elements within the picture. Okay, so first thing I do is I'm playing around now with my shutter speed. So I've probably put an ND6 filter on. I doubt I would have used anything more than that. I might have used slightly less. So I might have used a 3-stop just to start, reducing the light that comes in, so I can slow the shutter speed down. So you can see here that this is 30 seconds at f10. ISO 100. So I'm thinking, okay, this is better. It's not perfect, but this is better. So now I work through to the next image. So the last image was too bright, so I've reduced the shutter timing down to 25 seconds at f11, which is normally my preferred aperture to shoot at, which has just gently darkened the image and given a little bit more, I think a bit more punch to the image by being that little bit darker. Okay, so that's the third image. The fourth image is I've noticed in the third image that in the top right hand corner we've got this ugly little branch that's just distracting the view. It's kind of moving in the wind and it's just kind of in the frame, and I'm finding it really distracting. So you will have seen me run round to the other side and gently tease away those branches. As I said, I haven't broken them, I've just pulled them away with bungee cords just to hold them out the way. I've come back to the camera, shot another frame, to see how it looks. Now, you know, I'm not one for taking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of frames at a location, but you can use, being digital, you can take as many frames as you want to refine your composition, because it's a great tool to capture that moment that you're there, to see whether you like it or not. And you know, I use it as a compositional tool. I'm not always you know, you don't always have to just get it perfect on the first frame. You can take loads of frames. If you're shooting film, yeah, you need to get it, you know, better or perfect first frame, because frames are really expensive. But with digital cameras, a frame is really cheap. You know, I mean, all right, I might have a, you know, shutter count on your camera, doesn't mean anything. Just take a frame, have a look at it and assess it and move forward. So I've come back to this, and again, we've still got those trees moving in the top right, so not happy with that. So run back round and make another adjustment. And then you can see in this frame that they've now gone. So that top right hand corner has now lost that distraction, and those elements are not there. So I'm now looking through the rest of the image, and the next element that I see that I don't like is this in the bottom right hand corner. We've got this really bright white spot of foamy water that's there. So this was just a natural occurrence. I don't know what it was, whether there was something caught in there, but it's gone frothy and white, and it wasn't very pleasant. So again, I ran back round and I stuck my foot in it, and I've got rid of all the froth, which has just managed to remove that white element from there. I don't feel bad about moving the froth, it's just a bit of water, it will return if it needs to. I haven't broken anything and I haven't changed anything, so I'm okay with doing that. I'd rather do it in scene than try and manipulate it afterwards in post. You'll also notice that in the bottom left hand corner, there was a couple of shots ago this branch here. So even I've missed this in re-looking at it now. I've removed that as well from the image. So starting to really clean the image up, and then once I've cleaned the image up, I've then made a change to the composition. You'll notice a very, very slight shift to the left, just there. So probably one of the things I would have been looking at is just one general balance of the image, but you'll notice there's this kind of light edge to this rock on the bottom right hand corner, and to me that's a little bit distracting, and so I've just taken that away. And you'll also find that when you remove little elements and you refine your composition and you change things within the scene, it will change the balance of the image. So you always have to keep checking and keep checking. So then I've just tried to refine my exposure now, and this is the final image. So I've brightened it up a little bit, so we're 30 seconds f11, and that was the final image. So can you see the mistake that I made? I'll tell you the mistake that I made, and this really irritated me, is this top left hand corner. We've got this massive branch in the way. Now look, when you're in the field, we all know we miss stuff, but I've got to be honest, what a cock up. How could I not see that? Maybe it was the fact it was raining, or it was wet, maybe it was the back of it, you know, seeing it on a small screen on the back of the camera. Maybe I was too complacent with the work that I was doing and being there, and too busy just enjoying myself to not see it. Do you know when I saw this? This was down the pub that night when I was trying to dry myself and all my gear out. And I looked at it and I sat there and I went, oh, and I felt devastated, and I was like so disappointed in myself because of that branch that I'd left in there. And how could you not see it? Do you know what? Mistakes happen. So for me, I look at that and I think this image is no good. That branch just completely spoils it. And now that I can see it, I can't unsee it. So for me, this image is done. So what do you do? Well, I had a pint, I went to bed, and I got up in the morning. And this brings us on to the next point, the next learning point. We all do that thing when we go to a location. We decide, right, we're going to go to A, and we go and shoot it for a day, or half a day, or morning, afternoon, whatever, or sunrise or sunset, and we shoot it for a couple of hours, and then we get in the car and we go to the next location. I've done it countless times on my own and with my mates as well, and we go, you know, we tour around. Right, okay, so, you know, this is the plan. At day 1 we're going to be here, day 2 we're going to be there, day 3 we're going to be there, we'll stay here on night 1, stay there night 2, and you plan your trip. And you can't and it removes away the ability to explore a location and to understand and to know a location. So what's really good to do is to base yourself, you know, I mean, these little trips I do, they're 3 days, sometimes 4 nights, but mostly 3 days. And what I'm trying to do is go to one space and explore the tiny little region around that one place that I'm based. I don't want to drive around all over the place and go to different, you know, stops, waypoints on a route. I want to be at one point. And what this allowed me to do with this image and this location is to decide, well, actually, I haven't got this image, and I haven't got it at the best of it can be. But that's okay. I've got tomorrow. I can go back. So that's what I did. So the next day, which was my final day, you will have seen in the last video I shot in the morning, the same location I had the previous day. After that, I drove back to here, went back to this spot, and I reshot it. If you're enjoying this video, please hit that thumbs up and do me and the channel a massive favour and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. So as you can see, look, I was even taking double measures. So I pinched my video tripod to hold the branch out the way while I was taking the shot. So it wasn't getting me this time. But all joking aside, what was really good actually about going back and reshooting the same location again was I knew it, and I knew where to be and I knew where to go, but it also allowed me to really refine my composition even more. So when I was looking at the images in the pub the night before, I was deciding what I did and didn't like about it, and actually I've changed the composition very slightly because there was elements in the previous image that I didn't like. So I've cropped it a little bit tighter, changed the angle a little bit, and made sure that there was no distractions in the frame like that branch which got me the first time. So now you're going to see the processing, which I've sped up. If you want to see more detail, then you can slow it down. Also, if you have any questions or whatever, then please stick a comment below about the processing or about the video or anything in total. So the processing of the image is what I normally do, and that's basically looking at the balance of the image. It's looking at any distractions within the image, you know, like light bits or dark bits, and then it's working on modeling, 3Ding, dodging and burning the image to pull out the texture in the areas that I want, and create a sense of depth to the image and give the eye somewhere to go. So yeah, here's the processing. Like I said, any questions, stick them below.